Jordan over here. See, that's the way to do it. Just play the, you don't even have to ask. Just play the music. You know what I mean? Because otherwise we'll just keep going.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit if you want to know if I'm ready.
Yeah, just do it. Yo, what's good, fellas and ladies? The one or two of you likely out there. I think our demo is like 99.6% male audience. That's why we usually say that. Anyway, what's up?
You only get two choices in YouTube, though.
You are not getting me started before the show even begins. I'm Dave Loughran. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show presented by No House Advantage. Hit me up on the Twitters at Loughy_D. For those of you on the podcast listening, LOUGHY_D. I'm joined by Joshua Engleman at Josh Engleman on the Twitters. We'll be together a couple times today, breaking down a 2-game Thursday slate. Tell you what, though, man, it's an interesting one to kick this off at 7:30.
It really is. It's a shame we're not going to get Ben Simmons today. I would have preferred it. I think everybody would have preferred it, but Nets Sixers is amazing. Luckily, it's in Philadelphia, so Kyrie can play. It makes it a little bit more interesting.
For sure.
Warriors Nuggets is awesome too. Like you get Steph versus Jokic. Like in a weird way, it's like a really awesome 2-gamer.
It's very cool. And I tell you what, we're gonna get Ben Simmons. It's just gonna be Ben Simmons watching from the bench as boos rain down upon him.
Yeah, but like that's barely a part of the broadcast.
What?
It's not like he does something on the bench and like they cut the camera to him or something. Like to the viewer on the TV, he's basically non-existent.
No way.
How do you boo somebody that's not doing anything?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like he has to act, right?
Right. Like he's just like they're not going to introduce him. There's not any time where they're like, and here's Ben Simmons making his way back to Philadelphia.
Doesn't that make it a little bit more exciting for you? Because you know damn well that something's going down. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Like normally it would be upon introductions. Easy. We know, right? But now something's coming. There's no doubt about it.
I think there's a lot of doubt about it. I think nothing's coming.
Oh, you're crazy. This is Philly. Are you kidding me?
When could it happen? It does like Ben Simmons is going to have to be like cocky on the bench.
There's going to be insanely loud chants that just echo throughout the city of Philadelphia. I mean, stuff is going to happen tonight. I would put it this way. If I was a book, I wouldn't even offer a no prop for will something wild go? Will something happen with Ben Simmons tonight? Not to say he has to do anything.
Disagree.
Okay.
I mean, if we're talking like, are they going to boo him? Yes. Like clearly they're going to boo him. I just don't think they're going to be able to do what we like want them to do because he's just not involved in anything. He's just standing around.
I get what if he was out there, literally every time he touched the ball, he would get booed. I'm not kidding. Every single time he touched the ball.
Or they'd be pulling like the dribble, like counting out everything that he does and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Or the, if he has the ball under the basket, they'd be screaming pass. Yeah. Like there's a lot of different things that can happen. But Steve Nash said that goes, he's on our team. He needs to be with his teammates and get the whole Philly thing out of the way a little bit, acknowledging that he expects Simmons to receive a cold reception from the Sixers fans, and went on to say, maybe it never goes away, but the first time is always nice to kind of deal with it and move on. Now, what's funny to me about this, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, this sounds like Steve Nash told Simmons, you better be at that game on the bench.
Probably.
Right? It sounds like that. This doesn't sound like one where Ben comes up to Steve, then he goes, hey, coach, I want to be there tonight. There's just no way.
I got to ask the question. How much of this is real for Simmons? Like jokes aside.
In what sense?
Like how much do you think his mental issues are legitimate?
I think some of it could be real. I mean,
okay. Do you think the back injury is real?
No.
Interesting. Okay. I do actually.
I think, well,
it depends how quickly he plays. If he plays like on the 12th or whatever, then clearly not real.
That would be something else.
But if he doesn't play till April,
though, right? Yeah. But I'm saying yes and no. If he's a man with even a scintilla of intelligence, he wouldn't come back next game.
Right.
Right. Like even if his back wasn't hurting, I'm saying he agreed. He'd hang out another 10 days or so and then say, I'm good. But here's the thing. I'm not saying that the back injury and the mental health concerns are mutually exclusive, right? But I do think that it's easy to say, like, maybe he does have these mental health issues, and that's where this quote unquote back injury is coming from.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look,
I'm fascinated by this because I don't think it's just this, Ben Simmons is just like a quitter and like a sissy and whatever other words we want to use to describe him. Like, there's got to be something on the spectrum where, I don't know, we treat it differently because it's sports. But if some guy in your accounting office was like, yo, I'm having a lot of trouble, like even getting up and going to work today. Like, it's just different because we see it in sports. I don't know if we were like, we're hand waving this dude in the wrong way.
Can I say something though? For all of the, and I think you'd actually agree with this, for all of the criticism that the Sixers fan base gets, it's not fair to say that when Ben was on the floor that they were unfair to him. I mean,
agree.
They cheered on every single free throw that this man took in that 7-game series against the Hawks, right? Like the amount of encouragement that Ben Simmons got, when he would shoot, even if he'd miss, was unlike any other city you're going to find. It was more so the way that he pulled out of the situation, kind of snake-like to a lot of people. So I think it is harder for people to acknowledge that maybe it is a mental health issue. And mind you, one of the reasons for that is because he never even broached that subject until things started to turn bad on him and it looked like it was messing with his money, right? Like he never
how many people get out in front of their mental health issues though?
I don't know. Calvin Ridley did. There's a lot of players.
That's pretty new. That's a pretty new thing to like talk about any mental health issues you're having. I'm not
saying it isn't. What I'm saying is that his behavior prior to that would have led a lot of people to think that maybe he was fabricating this a little bit.
For sure.
Like Lane Johnson of the Eagles just disappeared for like 3 or 4 weeks and didn't tell anybody until he came back that it was mental health. And you're like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
This was one of those, I'm not playing with these guys again. I want to be nowhere near them. He did come back to practice. Doc asked him to run drills and he just like tossed the ball to the side and walked off the court. To me, maybe that is, and I'm not a psychologist. I did go to school for it though.
Did stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
That seems a lot like, someone throwing a temper tantrum and then using it to their advantage. But we'll probably never know, man.
No, we won't. Like Josh Gillum says, Kevin Love and DeRozan did. You're making my point. Both of those guys talked about how bad it was for years prior to like actually coming out and dealing with their mental health issues. This is not something that's just like, I'm sad today, so time to tackle my sadness. Like this is usually beating you down and beating you down and beating you down until you reach that sort of breaking point. Not a lot of people are usually like out in front of that type of stuff.
No. And I watched I watched this satirical video, one of those thank you videos to Ben Simmons that someone made on YouTube. Right. And they started playing this sad music. I almost felt bad for him. I'm not even kidding. Like they were just showing him miss every free throw.
Were they playing that Sarah McLachlan song? Like it's a dog
Arms of an
video?
Angel? Like the SPCA. I cannot watch those, by the way.
Neither can I. Turn those shits off immediately, man. I want to adopt every one of those dogs.
I know. I know. They're terribly sad. But besides the point, they're playing this sad music, and they show, what was it? Was it Kylie Jenner that was his girlfriend at the time? Jordan.
I think it's Kendall Jenner.
Kendall. Jordan would know. I know. Yeah, Jordan would know. And they just showed her in the stands, like.
Yeah. Now she's with Booker.
Oh God. All right.
So like Conscious saying he's weak. Like I can't say that.
You don't think you could say he's mentally weak?
Well, yeah, but like it's like calling somebody physically weak. Like maybe that's what he's working on now.
Yeah, maybe mental weakness is a psychological issue. I don't know.
Look, here's the deal. I'd rather be him than me. He might be weak, but that dude's printing money.
Yeah. Yeah. Conja says if he couldn't play in Philly, imagine New York City. Now, Philly's as bad as it gets. It's also as good as it gets. It depends.
Yeah. Imagine,
you know that. Like as much as you don't like them, look how they love Joe and look how they love a Jason Kelsey, an offensive lineman, right? Like these guys would go to war for some of these players.
That's why I wanted Durant to go there the year that he was able to go to Golden State. I thought him going to Philly would have been like the ultimate. They just turn him into like the face of the process and everything.
Would have been insane.
Right.
Yeah. Would have been insane.
Oh shit. What do I want to say? I had something. Weakness. Oh, like imagine being like the top 0.1% of your field, but you hate it. But like, you don't really have a choice in the matter. You're getting generational wealth for you and the people that are going to be involved in your life. And you just have to grin and bear that shit for a decade. That's gotta suck. Like a lot of people hate their jobs on a day-to-day basis. What if you don't like he's just happened to be born 7 feet tall.
Yeah, and made a lot of millions out of it as well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like we like poo-poo it because it's just like, oh well, you know, that'll buy you the peace of mind of being able to want to do that shit. It probably sucks to do something you don't want to do every single day. I do get what you're saying.
I do get what you're saying for sure. What I'm
like,
saying,
I'm sure he doesn't play basketball if basketball players make $100,000. Oh, like eventually you're just like, shit, I got to deal with. I just got to.
Of course not. Why? You know, you don't want to take abuse from the media, from everywhere. You don't want to do. The problem is, and then let's dive into this game because with perfect segue, we'll jump right into it. Yeah. The problem though lies within the fact that he acted like a petulant child. He did. Like, there's no doubt about it. And I think what bothered people most, Josh, wasn't that he struggled from the line. It wasn't that he wasn't a good shooter. It was that he had zero interest in working on that, right? You look at, again, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has worked on everything. You know, he realized that you can't be eating Chick-fil-A and Shirley Temples every day, right? You have to figure out how to pass out of double teams. Now with the league evolving, you have to learn how to shoot threes. He's done all of that. He's lost weight. He's in the best shape of his life. He's shooting like 37% from three. He can pass out of doubles. He's not dead once they bring the double over to, right? Like he does so many things well that if you look at Embiid, he was an incredible raw talent to pick up a basketball for the first time at like 16 years old and was about to be, I think it was like a professional volleyball player. But now look at him. The man has progressed and everyone has embraced him because they said that guy works on his craft. It wasn't that Simmons struggled. It was that he had seemingly no interest in improving any of that and didn't care.
Totally agree there. But yeah, like BP, you're making the point for me. What a price to pay for generational wealth. Poor guy. Are we serious? It's like, yeah, still, yes.
Yeah, like maybe you're saying he did that to get that generational wealth and then he bounces. Because he hates
that's not the best in the world. That makes you look soft and all, but like it's got to be really tricky. It must suck to do something you don't want to do just for money.
Yeah.
Money doesn't buy happiness, like they say.
It does not. Rabashua says, Loughy, do you think it's a total coincidence that the last two drafted point guards in Philly couldn't shoot because of mental health issues? No, Ben never shot though. Ben never shot. So if you're, I'm assuming you're equating Fultz to Simmons and some
two different things,
some connection there. I have no idea with Fultz. I really couldn't tell you. There were so many stories that swirled around, like his shooting coach changed up his shooting form. You remember that? We just don't know. But with Simmons, he never shot. Simmons could get away with not shooting. So I would say no. I would say it is a total coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, like Markelle Fultz, it was not like it wasn't controversial that Markelle Fultz was the first pick in the draft.
Right.
Like he could shoot in college. Well,
oh, yeah. He was the consensus outside of like Danny Ainge in Boston. Everybody else said, they take him number one.
Right. Yeah. We cannot use revisionist history to treat Fultz differently. He shot 41% from three in college and he took 125 of them in that college season. Like they were getting somebody different. I don't even know how to explain what the hell happened with Markelle Fultz.
I don't think you can. I really don't. And chokehold him. I hear you, but money doesn't buy happiness is I think it's a misleading phrase. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly can buy it certainly can buy just comfortability.
Yes.
You tell a poor person money doesn't. You tell a pour person money doesn't buy happiness. They're like, I'd be happy if I could feed my children. You know what I mean?
That's a different story.
Right. But no, I know just like money isn't the root of all evil, the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. Once you get to the point where Ben is making millions and millions, that has no difference. Like that's totally different than somebody, that's impoverished hitting the lottery. Yeah. That changes.
Yeah.
They'll blow it. But
like, could you imagine someone wanting to take your picture while you're out getting dinner and being like, I would soak it up. Yeah, like I think that I could do love it. But then there's the day where you're like not feeling it, and they're in your girlfriend's face with a camera, and you're just like, what do we do here?
Right. That is a thing for sure.
Like it's the garbage human beings on the outside of it that become the problem.
The paparazzi.
Like everybody's just like, I'll take the wealth, it'll be fine. It's like, yeah, because no one's ever cared about what you're doing in your life.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
We get like 1/1,000,000th of that from this. And like, there are days where you're just like, oh my God, just shut up. You're irritating.
Josh Gillum, I'd rather cry in a Ferrari than in a ditch. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these people put their Ferrari there.
What's up?
Yeah. They'll put that Ferrari in that ditch.
Yeah. Brooklyn and Philly. Man, this is going to be a fun game. Really fun game. I'm looking forward to it. 76ers are 4.5-point favorites. This should be a pretty high scoring affair as well. 234.5 total. I believe this has actually been coming up throughout. Yeah. Wow. Jordan, you can even change it on the screen. When I made the run sheet like an hour ago, it was 231.5.
Wait, what is it now?
234.5.
Dude, I got it at 229 before I started the process show.
Really?
That's what I have in here right now. That's whatever was on DK at 6:00 this morning.
That's exact. So we're up 5 points from the total over the past few hours. This is when you see a lot of movement anyway. Like once you get into this time of the morning, right? But still, it should be a high scoring affair. You have countless stars on both sides, starting with Tobias Harris. But Brooklyn, man, Kevin Durant, and this is where I want to start with you, right? We'll look up ownership. We have some free content today as well. I think our ownership rankings are free. Ownership rankings for NBA and player rankings for NHL are free. But Kevin Durant is someone who is in almost 900 minutes without Harden and with Irving since the start of last year. 25% assist rate, 31% usage rate, 1.4 DraftKings points per minute, all solid numbers. One thing that isn't interesting to me, though, and I'm going to have this on my Odd Shopper video today over on the Odd Shopper channel, breaking down all of our favorite prop bets and any bets for the NBA, is his rebound rate in the 3 games since he's been back, Josh, is 7%. And I don't think that's in small part because of Andre Drummond.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And it's something that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. This Brooklyn team today is in a really interesting spot because, like, clearly playing Durant looks great. He's Kevin Durant. And Philly not really set up to guard Durant. That's probably their biggest weakness, is not having anybody even remotely close to being able to check Durant. But then again, no one in the league really does. He is the guy that stands out most to me. He's the guy pulling the most ownership here, or at least technically speaking, the most ownership on FanDuel. I'd rather know what your thoughts are on Goran Dragic pulling the most ownership for any net today on DK.
Dude, that's so crazy. First of all, we know that Dragic is a decent enough per minute guy when he's, healthy. The thing with me is, let's do this right now. And I'm sure I'm sure you looked at some of this on the process show today. So Goran Dragic has played 5 games now, 6 games now, 6 games. Yeah. 3 of them though with KD, and then 2 of them with KD and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
What do his minutes look like in terms, not how many minutes is he playing, but what do they look like in terms of how often is he on with both of these guys?
Oh, that's a good question. I legitimately don't know, but I assume it's a staggeringly tiny mark at this point.
So let's see.
I'm pulling it up now. If we want to say Dragic on, Durant on, Kyrie on.
Yeah. So it looks like he's playing
20 minutes.
In what altogether?
Yeah.
It looks like he's playing. So his first rotation, I'm just looking at last game against Charlotte. He got, probably 4 or 5 minutes there with Durant and without Irving. Then another 4.5 minutes without Durant and with Irving. I just think it's important because if he's getting a lot of his minutes, if he's subbing for Irving in a lot of these cases, because he is on the floor with Irving a decent amount as well, then I'm fine with that. I just don't want it where, he's coming in for like a Bruce Brown and most of his minutes are just off ball with Irving and Kevin Durant out there. That's the biggest thing for me.
So he's been 0.81 FanDuel points per minute just since he's been back for the Nets. Prior to, or like just in general, in my model, he's a 0.93 guy. But because of the usage that Durant takes in because of the usage that Irving brings in, I actually have Dragic at 0.8 fantasy points per minute for this spot. So quite a bit lower than what I have his normal rates at. That actually still makes him look like a really good option, particularly at 3,600. The question really, I think, comes down to how many minutes is this guy out there? Played 28 3 games ago, played 28 on Tuesday, 22 in the interim there, but that was with Aldridge. Not that I'm trying to say that like LaMarcus Aldridge affects Goran Dragic's minutes, but it's just one guy that normally plays 20-something minutes that is now out of the rotation. We've seen Cam Thomas be removed from the rotation. Kessler Edwards doesn't play any longer. I gave Dragic 26 minutes. I think you need those 26 minutes to feel comfortable, but if he's playing 26, I think that ownership is warranted.
So he got an extra 40 seconds in blowout run last game. Not a blowout, but it was a blowout, but Charlotte started to make some inroads there. And then Durant and Irving came out with like 40 seconds left. So you're looking at Dragic, who played around 28, would have been 27 in that game if it was close. He's playing in 26 makes sense. So what you got Seth Curry that played 32. Bruce Brown played 28. Yeah, I think 26 is entirely possible again. There's nothing here that would suggest that he can't get it because Cam Thomas, Kessler Edwards aren't even playing.
Right. Yeah, okay. they played 30 seconds at the end of their last one.
Yep.
So I think the ownership there is warranted. The guy that I'm interested in is probably Seth Curry, 4,600 on FanDuel, 4,700 on DraftKings. He's got the good shooting guard, small forward eligibility on DK. His ownership is currently less than Dragic. Now, obviously, the price isn't as advantageous, but I think it's a little bit easier to get to him from a lineup construction standpoint. And clearly, if you guys want to play Durant and Kyrie, I mean, go for it. I like Durant significantly more than I like Kyrie, but Kyrie's like play type generally does pretty well against Philly.
Agreed. It does. But Yo, can I go out on a little narrative tip real quick?
Go for it.
There's a little healthy elite versus elite rivalry brewing between Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid.
Okay.
There has been saying the one game Durant waves him off, they get the win, and then Embiid does the same thing. And then after the game, they're talking about like this immense mutual respect that they have for each other. It doesn't mean much because Kevin Durant's good already, but I do think, this is just one of those spots where you go toe to toe with these guys. You also have, you see it all the time. Just Embiid, whenever Embiid and Giannis go up against each other, it's must watch television. It's domination on both sides. But more than anything, I don't care about that. Durant's played 39 and 40 minutes in regulation over his last 2 games.
Yeah, he hasn't been good, though. That's the interesting piece.
That's not true. I mean, well, okay, I'm sorry. In one game,
1.08 fantasy points per minute in these 3 games since he's been back.
All right. Well, the first game, you're shaking rust off. It's been almost 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that's how I'm projecting him. I have 72% Durant in my lineups right now. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not looking into it too much.
Second game, 61 DraftKings points. And fantasy point per minute production can be a little bit misleading if your guy is playing 40 minutes a night.
Or if you just have a bad shooting day.
Oh, no, for sure. But what I'm saying is if a guy, let me give you an example of someone. Hassan Whiteside, right? Hassan Whiteside, it's a 2-game slate. You're projecting him for like 17 minutes. And you know that this guy on a per minute basis is very good. You need that because you only think he's getting 17, 18 minutes tops. With Durant, he doesn't need to be a 1.6 fantasy point per minute guy if he's playing 40 minutes, because that can make up for some bad shooting or, a lack of production. But last game was odd. He was not good, but Irving also dropped 50, right? Irving was super efficient, dropped 50. I'm on over 33.5 points and assists for Durant today already. I really don't want the rebound props though, even though he's playing these minutes. It worries me a little bit with Embiid and Drummond out there.
I got him at 34.4
points and assists.
Yeah.
Sounds fine to me. Plus, he also just has insane upside as a scorer, so he can clear that without a single assist.
We have one more guy that I think we desperately need to talk about here for Brooklyn.
Shoot.
What do you think the mental state of Andre Drummond is going to be in this matchup?
It's a great question. I mean, they actually became buddies after I'm pretty sure they did. If you would watch them, they became pretty cool. I'm not saying they were tight hanging out, but a lot different than it was when he was going up against Joel Embiid,
But saying that he lives rent free in his head.
I think you bring up a great point that this is one of the lesser talked about narratives and storylines in this game because it's all Ben Simmons. But dude, Adam, our boy Adam Scher, good luck at the finals, pal. I know you're watching this. He would always say, he'd always be like, remember those games where Drummond would just get sick or get hurt when they were supposed to face Philly when he was with the Pistons?
Oh no, I got avocado in my eye. I can't play today.
Yeah, that's what it was. I have some theories about that too. What?
Go ahead. What's your theory?
It wasn't an avocado allergy.
Okay.
You're out there with the boys in Mexico City doing your thing.
There's a lot of stuff in the air at a donkey show is what you're trying to say.
Twisted and turned the wrong way. Something got in your eye. I don't know, but it wasn't an avocado.
I don't know.
It might have been. Who knows? I don't know.
It's even weirder if it really was.
Dude, that allergy lasted like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? You remember that was a pretty long time that he was out with it.
It was more than one game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Old avocado eye Andre. But look, I think this is a really interesting spot for him. He's coming off a 20 and 14 game. He almost dropped 50 in 24 minutes. Do his minutes get limited? Or does he actually have an opportunity to play more if he's out there playing well because there is no LaMarcus Aldridge? This is a really tough spot.
You would think if he's ever going to get more minutes, if he's playing well and he's going up against Joel Embiid, this is the spot to do that. We have him projected for less ownership than Bruce Brown.
Wow. I think Drummond at that ownership and at the price, which the price is, I think, reasonable, but it's a 2-game slate. So you got to put it in context. I think that makes, I have no problem with Drummond. Look, he has a low floor right now on this team, but he also
he can play like 8 minutes today because he's shook and Embiid fouls him up. Like the error bars on this one are massive, but
also has a really high ceiling, as we saw last game.
Yeah. What if he gets 28 minutes or 30 minutes because it's going well for him?
Very easily could.
If Andre Drummond plays 28 minutes today, I'd be shocked if he's not in an optimal lineup.
Oh, absolutely. 28 minutes for Drummond at 5,700. I don't care who he's facing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
like
shit.
every extra minute he gets, I assume is happening because it's also going really well.
No doubt. Look what Jordan just alerted me to, by the way. Tony Porcelli with the first year badge. I told you those are sexy. Look at that thing. It's a nice looking badge.
I looked at his like logo. I was like, that looks like the Knicks logo, man. What are we doing here? Then I realized that I wasn't looking at the right thing.
What is that? A Knicks logo though?
His YouTube icon? Yeah, I think so.
No, but that's a sweet ice badge. Look at that next to his name.
Well, like I looked at the wrong spot and I was like, I don't know, weird.
That's
but
weird.
No, they
awesome.
are sick.
Anyway, he said 1 year with you today. Appreciate all you guys do. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Love it. Hit that join down below if you want to as well. Custom emojis, the free super chats each month. We'll always prioritize your questions too. And Tony, I saw you said you don't need to give free actual cash, man. None of that. Don't worry about that. You're a super chat member. I tell you, we always prioritize your guys' comments and questions. We appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I don't even think I said to hit the thumbs up yet, Josh. We got almost 400 people watching, 71 likes just out of the kindness of their heart. But I don't think I did that yet, did I?
No, I mean, they should probably just let me host.
Go ahead. I ask for likes. See how you do.
No, I'm good. I don't want to do that work.
No, you know what it is. You're Ben Simmonsing over here, worried that you won't get the results you're looking for.
Exactly, man. Just
and
like
also,
everybody else.
I don't want to do that work is also very much Ben Simmons.
Right. Which is, think about everybody out here acting like talking shit on Ben Simmons, acting like they bring their A game at their day jobs on a day-to-day basis. Go to hell.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
you guys are lucky you give your C game most of the time.
I will say though, if you have a yearly review coming up and there's some opportunities on the table, you wouldn't, and let me put this in basketball terms, you wouldn't pass up a dunk under the rim in a game 7.
Depends if you don't want to live in Philadelphia any longer.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
I wouldn't want to then go live in Brooklyn. I don't really feel like that's all that big of a change. But
well, the whole East Coast is supposed to be inundated with parachuting spiders the size of a child's hand this summer. So I don't want to be on the East Coast at all.
How old of a child?
I don't know. It's a very, very solid question. I don't know. What I do know is they like use their own webs to spring themselves into the atmosphere and then parachute down. I'm not joking. Look this up.
I know. I saw it on Instagram. I didn't dig into it because I didn't want to know.
My wife will never leave the house again.
Dude, I don't like seeing one hanging from a tree in my yard.
Apparently the webs are 10 feet wide.
I mean, I'd rather it be 10 feet wide. At least you can sort of see that one coming.
What if you don't? Oh God, I don't even want to think
about it. I can't, man. I can't.
Would you rather have that or the murder hornets?
I mean, raining spiders sounds biblical. So I don't need to find out. I don't want either of them if that's what we're doing. I don't know. Murder hornet sounds like it'll sting. I feel like I can get away from spiders. I can't get away from a murder hornet.
Yeah, we live in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the thought of one of those spiders, like waking up to one of those spiders in your bed.
in your bed, dude. Just imagine hanging out in your yard and you look up and it's just like, doom, 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 doom. And you're just getting pelted like hail balls of spiders.
Well, no, they have parachutes, so they be coming down controlled.
Yeah, I just picture. No, I don't know. I don't like this.
No, me neither. I hate it. We'll see what happens.
I hate spiders.
Apparently, they're already in the Carolinas. Somebody said that to me the other day.
Come on, man. I ain't gonna do that shit.
I'm dead serious. Maybe he said South Carolina. I don't know. Anything else for the Nets? God, we're still in the Nets.
I mean, you know, if you think it goes poorly for Andre Drummond, Nick Claxton's got power forward center eligibility on FanDuel at 3,800. He's 3,200 on DK. They're going to need to play somebody at center.
That's a very interesting one. He could, that's intriguing.
Or they just bring out James Johnson or Day'Ron Sharp or like the other 9. God, why can't I? Blake Griffin. I mean, they got like 27 guys that could play center, so it complicates matters a little bit. But no, I mean, pay attention to Claxton. Look, it's a 2-game slate. I can't be like, oh, play this guy, don't play that guy. I have 6 of the guys on Brooklyn right now. So I'm not going to be getting to $6,900 on FanDuel Bruce Brown. That much I can tell you.
Okay. You know what I can tell you is nice that Doc Rivers actually is staggering his Joel Embiid and Harden rotations. Everyone's like, of course it was going to happen. Doc Rivers does some insanely, he does some stuff that you can't really comprehend, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. But James Harden, he doesn't have a very high usage rate in Philly. It's around, it's 23.5%, but he has an assist rate that's just through the roof. What's his assist rate? 50% right now.
Yeah.
Everything is there for him just to have one of those monster games like he did last week, right? The 80 fantasy point explosion. It's just a matter of where it comes from. So what do you think about Harden today on a 2-gamer?
Love him. Right now I have 50% of him on FanDuel. It's about where we have his ownership. He's 40% owned on DraftKings. I think he looks pretty good there. I gave him a little bit of a usage bump. I don't think that he's long-term going to be like a 23% usage guy for Philly. So I'm going more in like the 26, 27 range. But yeah, 42% assist rate is where I've got him right now. He looks fantastic. I prefer Embiid. I mean, to me, Embiid is my favorite play on the slate. 10-8 on FanDuel, 10-8 on DraftKings. I like him more than Jokic at this moment. We have Jokic higher owned, I believe. So I am taking the lean to Joel Embiid, which obviously doesn't make me feel great in my heart, but I'll take what I can get.
We're privileged to have him and Jokic in the league at the same time and being able to watch these guys. Like Jokic, monster game last night. Embiid the night before, 43 and 14, or 2 nights before that. Just incredible what these guys are doing. This matchup for Joe is mouth-watering. I mean, it is a really
it's as good as
spot.
it gets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how you stop him today. Unless you try and throw the kitchen sink at him, but then you have Harden, and then you have a guy like Maxey who he's done a really good job, number one, of knocking down threes, spot up threes, but also he'll get the ball and he'll just cut to the basket. Dude can get to the rim as well, especially when they're bringing doubles and triples on Embiid. So it's hard to stop them right now. If you sell out to stop Embiid, and if you think that's going to be the case on a 2-game slate, maybe you play some lineups that way.
To me, he's wildly underowned. We have him at 11% on DK today. I had him coming out of my Sims 35% of the time. And I don't think that I'm being like I don't think I'm over projecting Maxey. I got him at 0.85 fantasy.
Oh, you're talking about Maxey?
Yeah. We have him at 11% ownership right now.
It seems low.
Obviously these are at different salary points, but that's a percentage point lower than flat minimum Shake Milton.
Right. Now, wait, you're talking DraftKings or FanDuel?
DK.
So 7,400.
Yeah.
All right. It's also interesting that Embiid's price has come down $1,200 since the last time he played.
He looks so damn good today.
He really does. I will tell you though, I'm not really interested in Tobias Harris. I know you can. I make jokes about it. It's become a thing of Like, oh, Tobias Harris, how bad he is and this and that. But in every single game that he's played with with James Harden, he hasn't gotten close, Josh, like at his price point. Even still at 6,300, you have to tell me that you think he can. First of all, assists are out the window. There's zero facilitating work left for somebody like him. Maxi's already cleaning up scraps. Okay. So that's gone. Now you're just looking for, and he was a 4 assist per game guy before this, which is something. He doesn't rack up steals and blocks. And on a rebounding front, James Harden is a markedly better rebounder than any other guard that they've had on the floor this year. So it's not just the fact that Tobias Harris loses on usage. He loses everywhere.
He does. He really does. 168 minutes in the games that James Harden has played so far for Philly. Tobias Harris, 16.6% usage rate. He's 6 of 22 from three.
It's not good.
He's taken less threes than George Niang has in twice as many minutes.
Yep. Niang's actually had some big spots.
He's looked good running with Harden.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody that can shoot threes looks good running with Harden. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Ken Harris.
Weird how he makes everybody look better.
I know. Oh no, but this isn't a good fit. Yeah.
Morons.
It is. It is. For me, Harris is going to have a good game at some point. Okay. I get that. It's, you know what I mean? And everyone will be like, oh, Loughy, what about that Harris guy? And then he'll go back to doing what he's doing. Yeah. I just don't really feel like chasing that. And I get it. Tournaments, you're trying to hit the low probability plays. But my problem is even a big game from Harris is probably like 35 DraftKings points. I just don't see that ceiling there anymore at all. And almost all of his minutes, last time I looked, you can look this up and correct me if I'm wrong, but almost all of his minutes in Harden games have come with Harden on the floor. Almost all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they're playing alongside each other for most of it, but I mean, 35 might not be the biggest issue in the world today.
No, but I'm saying that's like his best game. Probably that's probably his best game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know. I have his ceiling in 35 minutes set at 47 fantasy points. That seems like a stretch.
It is.
I have his target score right now at 44 on
no
DK.
Way. No way.
44 would be 1.26 fantasy points per minute.
What's he averaging with Harden?
He's at 0.76 over the past 30 days.
It's not bad.
No, he needs to double it.
It's just not a great spot. The matchup's fine. I don't mean that. I just mean he's playing a lot of minutes. They're empty minutes.
Yeah, he ain't doing shit. The real problem for all of this, I don't know who lives in Breckenridge, Texas, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that phone call. The real problem in all of this is that Tobias Harris is terrible defensively.
Sure.
Like you can make, it's never going to happen, but you can make a real case that he shouldn't start.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could.
Now he should close, but I think that you could reappropriate Tobias Harris's minutes and probably benefit Philly more by having him out there with the second unit.
You're probably right. I mean, seriously, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I don't know.
Would they be better off starting Niang?
I'd be fine with that.
In Harris's spot.
I've talked to you about that when we did the trade deadline show, that I would have zero problem starting Niang, especially with a guy like James Harden out there.
Yeah. They're not going to do it. Obviously, you can't bring Tobias Harris off the bench making $40 million a year.
You know what else Harris is awful at?
How is it 10:45?
I know. Last thing. You know what else Harris is awful at? This guy couldn't collect an offensive rebound to save his life. He tries and he has it in his hands and just loses it every time. He'd have 5 or 6 more points per game if he could just collect an offensive rebound. But anyway, I think we've covered most of this. Any other just cheap guys for Philly?
Yeah. So depending on how you feel about Shake Milton with no Danny Green in this one, I gave Milton 22 minutes. I think he is wildly underowned as a value option. Flat minimum on FanDuel, flat minimum on DraftKings, which is even more interesting. Not the best per minute guy in the world, and certainly limited based on everything that's ahead of him, but you're going to have to pay down somewhere. And we have a lot of pay up options today, whether that's Embiid, Harden, Kyrie, Durant, Jokic, Curry. Somebody like Shake Milton becomes a little bit more interesting, because if that breaks correctly at 3K and you get like 25 to 30 out of Shake Milton, he's going to be essential, and it's probably going to help you unlock 2 pay up options.
Okay. I like Niang. Well, here, think of it this way. He is playing. Look at his minutes. This is a 2-game slate. What's up?
Do you see the message from Chris?
Do we have a 1-gamer next Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it. All right.
Oof.
Niang is somebody that on a 2-game slate, I like the fact that he can rip off 5 threes. I mean, obviously very low floor, but I really don't hate the idea that he can come out there and just shoot, especially if he's going to be out there with James Harden for a decent amount of time. He's played 23, 24, and 19 minutes over his last 3 games. One of those was without James Harden, and one of them was that Cleveland game where he was shooting really, really well. But I think if he is shooting well, you probably get another 23, 24 minutes from him. He's not a safe play, but he's almost minimum salary.
Yeah, I have him as properly owned. He's one of the 7 guys that I think you can play from Philadelphia today. I prefer Shake to him, but certainly see the path where Niang can be essential at 3,300.
All right. Jeremy said, don't even need a show for 1 game. Wow. We did a lot of 1-game shows in the playoffs last year. A lot of them.
We did. Don't worry. We're going to go 1 hour and 20 on that 1-gamer.
Yeah. Let's talk about No House Advantage, and then we'll get to Golden State and Denver. So No House Advantage, sponsor of the strategy show, totally different way to enjoy DFS with player prop contests. It's 100% peer-to-peer playing. So it levels the field, and all new users, when they sign up, get a $25 deposit bonus using the promo code Awesemo, AWESEMO. Very cool format over there, right? At nohouseadvantage.com or in the App Store, the Google Play Store, however you want to do it. You're basically just building lineups with player props without a salary cap. So all of the research that you would use listening to these watching these shows, reading articles, looking at tools is all applicable. Not to mention that you have the No House Advantage projections for free at Awesemo every day of the week and every day of the year. The optimal lineups tool is free over at Awesemo for No House Advantage. You have Odd Shopper, you have the player prop tools. You can compare all of these against all of the props over there at No House Advantage. You build lineups. The props are static too. They don't change throughout the day. You get a lot of opportunity to find that edge, to find those inefficiencies in some of these lines. Take advantage of it. Win some legitimate money, get that $25 deposit bonus when you sign up using the promo code Awesemo. Use all of our free tools. Use the free tools at your disposal. Take advantage of that in any way that you can, and download it in the App Store, Google Play Store, or just desktop, laptop, whatever you want. NoHouseAdvantage.com, sponsor of the strategy show. All right, Josh, Golden State Warriors against or on the road against Denver. Denver playing their second of a back-to-back today.
4 and 5 too.
Yeah, they're playing. They played a lot of games recently. They had back-to-backs, and yeah, right. Okay, were they both back-to-backs? I guess they would.
No choice.
Have to be. What?
I mean, technically, you could play 3 in a row, but that only happens very.
Right, no, it would
rarely.
have to be right. 4 and 5. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, what's the spread now? Let me see if it changed.
I had 2.5 before.
Warriors laying 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 now.
Okay.
228 total. Steph Curry on a slate where you have Jokic, Embiid, Durant, Harden. Normally I'd just be like, all right, well, on to the next guy. But I have to ask you at least because he's fallen below 10K on DraftKings, which is probably he should be, but that's where it's starting to come back down to earth a little bit. No one wants to pay 11.6 for Stephen Curry.
No, stupid. That was a stupid price tag. I like him. I like him a bit more on FanDuel. He's 9,100, 55% owned. I have him in 58% of my lineup. So I don't have much else to add. He hasn't been playing well, 1.13 FanDuel points per minute over the past 30 days. But he's still Steph Curry. He's still a 60% true shooting, close to 30% usage guy that's going to play 36 minutes. There's just going to be days where you absolutely have to have him. And because of Embiid and Jokic and some of the value that exists in the big man spots, it's just actually a little bit easier to get to Curry because he's a guard. So while I'm interested in Curry, I fully expect to be right around the field today.
Steven Leibowitz, what's up, Steven? Said, not only is this real? Not only is next Thursday one game, it's Orlando and Detroit.
Oh God, please don't be real.
Is that a serious thing? Does that have to do with like March Madness?
It is, dude. It is. And it is. It's the first day of March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. One game and it's on NBA TV. It's not even televised.
What time is it?
7.
Okay.
That should be like a company holiday. Yeah, we're off that day, man.
The truth is, though, it makes no difference to me. It's
not. Oh my God! Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12 the day before.
Oh, is that Wednesday? Nice.
1,
I don't have
2,
to do
3,
the deeper
4,
dive
5,
on Wednesday.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 the next day. Thanks, NBA.
Have to do Friday.
Thanks, NBA.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it any easier or more difficult for me to talk about Sixers, Nets, or Pistons, Orlando. It's still a slate. It doesn't though, really.
Orlando and Detroit is a real tough one gamer to do, man.
It's not fun, but I'm saying it's not more you still have to find the right plays. You're still building lineups. There's still salaries.
From a DFS perspective.
That's what I meant.
But if it's Brooklyn, Philly as the one gamer, you and I are going to fill an hour like that. When it's Detroit, Orlando, we're also going to fill an hour like that because we're going to fill it with 57 minutes worth of nothing.
Do you think today most ownership is going to go to this Golden State? Or actually, I just pulled up ownership right now. Golden State ownership, Jordan Poole. Wow. Really? 48%?
Yeah. Warranted to me. Second highest owned guy is Moses Moody at 3,500, shooting guard, small forward. I think he's the best play on DraftKings from Golden State.
We have 8 Golden State Warriors pulling 20+%.
Yeah, some of that's nonsense. Nemanja Bjelica, 37% owned. Ridiculous. Kevon Looney, 37% owned. Ridiculous. Both of those numbers, I think, are preposterous. I do think Poole's a little over-owned, but clearly you're getting to him. That's a very different scenario. But the ownership on Looney and Bjelica is embarrassing.
Are you big on Moody?
Yes, big time. To me, he came out of my Sims higher than anybody else on the DK side. Not even close. To get him at shooting guard, small forward, guard forward, and utility at 3,500, locking that in is awesome. I got him in for 28 minutes too. He could certainly play a little bit more. Now he's not good. He's a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy. You need this to break correctly, and you need every single one of those minutes. But again, playing someone like Moody unlocks your dual pay up option lineups today.
How big do you think the showdown prize pool is going to be for the big contest on DraftKings?
For Magic Pistons?
Yeah.
$100.
It's going to be 100K to first.
No,
it's going to be something. It's going to what?
50.
Probably 50. Yeah.
You got to remember, it's not just the joke of Pistons Magic. It's the first day of the NCAA tournament.
Right. Yeah.
That's the actual reason why.
It'll still be 50K.
Lower.
It'll definitely be 50K though. People are going to play. It's just the way it goes. People always play,
I, on the other hand, won't be anywhere near that.
No, I will. I'll dip my toes in, but what about for Denver where you've got?
I got to hit you with my favorite play from Golden State on FanDuel before we go.
Oh, please. I thought you were done.
Now, 6,600 on DraftKings, shooting guard, small forward eligible. I think he looks good. Klay Thompson's 5,700 on FanDuel. The minutes are even higher than they were. I got him in for 32 today. Klay Thompson is in 97% of my FanDuel lineups right now.
All right. 97?
97. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Hey.
He looks good. He's a fantasy point per minute guy. if the minutes are at 32, like you at 5,700, at least as of right now in this slate, I think that he needs to score 39 fantasy points. Like, to me, that's well within the mark if Klay Thompson's playing 32 minutes.
Very doable.
And if he scores that 39, he's 100% in your optimal lineup.
Very doable. No question. Jordan, what did you just take a sip of that made you grimace like
Tito's?
That?
It's just hot coffee. I don't know.
Oh, that's why. Tito's. We've got a new betting product out here that we're excited to talk about. For those of you wondering, premium betting pick subscription is launching, Josh.
Yeah.
And if you click the link below in the description, Jordan, I don't know if there's one for chat, but in the description, and join our Betting Picks Discord channel. All you got to do is click the link to subscribe and join the Betting Discord channel, because each day you'll have Alex Baker, Awesemo himself, Ben Rasa, Steve Buzzard, using Awesemo's industry-leading projection models to identify the best potential ROI situations and provide catered snapshot betting analysis in an actionable time frame. Until March 17th, you can get a discount on these bets when you use coupon "Let Me See Those Picks." We never cease to outdo ourselves.
That's the coupon code? No, you're kidding, right?
No, I'm dead serious. Let me see if it's under promos and you don't have to actually type all of that in.
I'm going to the DMP right now just to see.
I'm not making it up.
You should be.
Let me see those picks. All one word. Let me see those picks at checkout, which will get you full access for only $15 on your first week. Now's the time to get premium betting pick subscription just in time for March Madness. Yeah, going to be a ton of March Madness stuff out there with Ben and Alex and Steve and everybody. So click that link below for today's games. Get in on that and use that. What's the promo code, Jordan?
Let me see those picks.
That's right. Let me see those picks, baby. All right. Let's close it out with Denver.
We don't want to have a conversation about this on the air right now.
We just did, baby.
Something like that.
Let's talk about Nikola Jokic. Do you think Will Barton sits?
I put him in for now. Kind of sucks that this is like a 2-game island spot.
Well, the thing too, though, is what if Jeff Green, with those personal reasons, is also out?
I know this is a real problem. And here's why it's a problem. It's not so much of a problem for DraftKings, because I think Will Barton is basically appropriately priced at 5,900. Will Barton is shooting guard, small forward eligible on FanDuel and 4,900. If he's in, I think he's one of the 5 best plays you'll get to on FanDuel. And that's a problem. I have 78% Will Barton right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're 0.9 fantasy points per minute, 30 minutes a game. Like, this is a guy that when he's in should not be 4,900.
No, they did price like everybody down today, and I think they should have, but
it's not even the guy I have the most of on Denver.
Will Barton, 59. Sorry, I thought you were talking about DraftKings. You have 59 on DraftKings. For
yeah, that's the appropriate price. It's not as big of an issue because it's going to be hard to get to like unlimited Will Barton at 5,900.
Is everyone just underpriced on FanDuel?
No. Well, Aaron Gordon, I think, is at 5K, or at least slightly. He is in 97% of the lineups that I have created at this point. I'm well over the field on Aaron Gordon, and that'll hold if Barton is out. I'm fading Jokic as of right now.
To what extent?
I have 6%. He's
Whoa.
42% owned. Look, it's FanDuel. You don't have a choice here. You got to pick one of those two guys. It's either Embiid or Jokic. You can't have them both. There's only 100% exposure to go around at center. Like, you need to get that one right no matter what. If your first decision point is Embiid or Jokic, you'll know if you can win just by whether or not they beat each other.
Right.
So
yeah.
I am going
to
take
a
Embiid.
Stand.
Right. I am taking that stand on Embiid. I had Embiid in 82% of lineups, Jokic in 6. So I am taking the stand of Embiid over Jokic at this moment.
All right. So it's 11 o'clock It's time to get out of here. Let me ask you one final question.
Go.
If Barton and Jeff Green are both out, it's very possible too. This is the second of a back-to-back. One's personal and you have no idea how often, like how long that's going to be a thing for. And the other's an ankle. Let's just assume. Are you interested in Austin Rivers, who played over 31 minutes last night, or Devin Reed?
Yeah. So Rivers is terrible. 0.6 fantasy points per minute, 4K on FanDuel, 3,600 on DraftKings, shooting guard, small forward. He's going to look like Moses Moody, basically, if those guys end up out. So, yeah, I think Austin Rivers will be pretty heavily owned. You're not going to be happy about it. He's going to end up being a solid point per minute guy on a 2-game slate. For Reed, in 20 minutes, it's probably not enough. You know, like I might even be more interested in getting to like a Zeke Naji to roll the dice and cross your fingers. We also have to see if Bones Highland plays. He did not play this last game out too. If Bones Highland plays, then I don't think Reed is really going to be out there. Like if they have the same game again with no Barton, no Jeff Green, no Bones Highland, I don't find Campazzo or Reed or Najee to be all that interesting. I'd be more interested in probably taking like a big time flyer on someone like Bryn Forbes. Maybe he just
who can at least
into
shoot
more minutes. Yeah. Big usage guy too, oddly enough. You wouldn't think about it, but Bryn Forbes is like an over 20% usage guy, generally speaking.
Yeah, limited minutes, I get it.
Yeah, I'm just going to firm up on Aaron Gordon, and then I would probably Austin Rivers would be the first guy that I would be getting to after that.
Okay. So Landon Law said today's show is longer than yesterday's 12-game slate. # missing Adam. No, what was yesterday's show, Jordan? Like an hour and 30 minutes? We had 12 games, and blame Adam for going off the rails.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always get blamed for that, as if Adam was not indulging in every single thing we talked about. Jordan's shaking his head, right? Like I tried to get back on track on multiple occasions yesterday. Yeah. And then I have some guy on Twitter telling me that he thinks I really need to get on Adderall because
it is great.
What?
It is great.
You on Adderall?
From time to time.
Oh, that's good stuff. Do you know how brutal it is to do a 12-game slate without breaking it up a little bit?
I thought you were going to say with Adam. I was like, yeah, unfortunately I do.
Without breaking it up a little bit, have a little fun. It's not fun. Just like, okay, now the next one. It's a show in the morning where we still don't have a lot of news. Yeah, you got to do some stuff.
Right. The morning show's different. We're going to be ultra focused for the deeper dive at 5:30.
For sure. And Landon, I just read it wrong. Your name. All right. Before we go, and I have one more question to ask you. Josh, have you heard of, this is not the question, I have one after this, and then we'll wrap it up. Have you heard of Breaks of God?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, you did a read for it the last time we did a show.
That's right, breaksofgod.com. And you had also mentioned to me that you've done this type of stuff before.
I have a lot, actually.
Instead of me, and I actually think this is more effective, right? Instead of me just reading all of this, although if you go to breaksofgod.com, you'll get 30% off your first box break with the promo with breaksofgod.com/A30. That'll get you 30% off. What is something like Breaks of God? Like how you, because you've used this type of stuff before.
All right, I got one pulled up right now. I'll explain it based on everything I have on the screen. A box of basketball cards. Right now, the one that I'm looking at is the 2021 Panini Chronicles. So there's going to be 2 autographs in each box. You pay $151 in this spot to pick a slot. There are 6 slots available. Each person that buys one of these slots gets a division. Any cards that pop up from that division.
Randomly assigned division?
Randomly assigned division. They will randomize that.
Okay.
So you get the Atlantic Division. Every card that comes out assigned to a team in the Atlantic Division ultimately gets sent to you after they buy this box break or after the box is open. So if you get a Joel Embiid autographed card pops out of that box and you have the Atlantic Division, That bad boy is coming to you along with everything else. You're basically buying shares of a box randomly. Instead of having to spend the, I don't know, $1,000 on that box of 48 basketball cards, you're buying a share of it and turning it into sort of like a lottery ticket. It's a great way to get yourself into sports cards. But if you want to have like a little bit of the fun of breaking the box without like having to actually break the bank for it, it's a really great mechanism.
So I would assume the fun part, at least for me, would be watching it live as it breaks. And then,
yes.
So like so that you could break a pack, open it up. And then like this card, you see, they're not yours because they're not your division. And then boom, a Luka Doncic could pop up.
Yeah. Like basically for this, you're either looking for you personally or either looking for like your favorite players just in general, because most cards are useless. There's 2 autographs in each one of these boxes that I'm talking about right now.
Oh,
what you're hoping is that the autograph lands in your division, and 2, that it's a person of substance.
What's the best thing you've ever gotten?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing of value. Nothing that I can remember.
Okay. But it's doable. This is a better way.
Right. Like you can get both autographs, but it's George Niang and Bruce Brown. And you're like, okay, well, I won, but I didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right. But this is the way you got to do it. Like if you're collecting cards anyway, if you're breaking boxes, this is the same thing. You're just getting a slot option. There's no difference outside of not having to spend $1,500.
Exactly. So, yeah. Each slot here is $150 and there's 6 of them. I'm
trying to do one. Let's do one of these next week.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll both go in. We'll both do one.
Yeah. I'm in.
Do it. Let's do it. 8:30. I'm using the promo code too, you sons of bitches.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know, breaksofgod.com/breaksofgod.com/830. Get you 30% off. Breaks of God. Follow them on Instagram too at Breaks of God. I can't help it, Josh. Just big South Park fan over here. Well,
did you know that Token's name isn't Token?
Token, yeah, it's
Tolkien. He was named after J.R.R. Tolkien.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that just came out.
But they call him Token in that. It's very obvious.
Well, they've always called him Token.
Right.
Obviously for a very specific joke.
Yes.
Turns out it is Tolkien.
Huh. Did you watch South Park?
Yes.
What is Butter's real name?
Leopold Storch.
Scotch. Nice.
Scotch.
That's solid. You got the Leopold. All right.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even get to talk about Carson Wentz. I told Adam, welcome to hell, as they traded him over to, what's their team name now? The Commanders.
My tweet was just that the Commanders name fucking blows. I use that as a perfect opportunity to unfollow most of the people that I follow in the NFL.
Well, we've hit the end of the road. We still got over 400 people in here, so it's pretty.
Yeah, T McBee's hitting on it right now in chat.
What was this?
Oh, he's talking about Tolkien.
Oh, gotcha. Well, anyway, appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up before you go. Subscribe to the channel. And to Tony, I wonder who, can we go back and find out who our first YouTube member was, Jordan? Can we do that and just like do something for them? I want to. Jordan says we can.
What does Jordan know?
You don't think you can?
No.
All right. Well, anyway.
It's probably you.
No, definitely. No, I was like a month after everybody. I had cold feet.
I never did it.
Ended up being the best decision of my life. I like the badge. I like the badge, you know. It's like my own NFT.
That would be
all right. Jordan Klein producing the show. Appreciate you. Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman, me at Loughy _D. We'll be back here tomorrow. Are you on with me tomorrow too?
I hope not.
I've been on the strategy show every day this week because Adam's taken off. And yeah, look at that. You and me, pal.
Is it really?
You and me. Yes, sir.
Is it really me on the strategy show? Because I don't have that in my calendar. Did that get changed?
I didn't have it in my calendar that I was on the strategy show every day this week either. Obviously, I did because it was on the schedule. But
I need to find out if I missed that because I'm gonna have to change my gym stuff. That's why I booked it.
Oh, might have to. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Peace.